Alright guys, so far I come to the conclusion just gonna go with South Florida accountability. I got a page on Facebook I just made, still having issues with that, getting the right pictures up and stuff. Um, Changed the YouTube channel name, South Florida Accountability. It's simple, it's not witty like I'm looking for, so again, it might change over the course of time, but just talked to the officer. Gave him the estimate on the awning, $2,359.13. So it's gonna be a little bit of money, but uh, he was still pretty much pressing for me to press charges. I don't get it. I've explained to him several times I'm not going to press charges unless the uncle decides that he's not going to pay. At which point, I guess I'll have to. But from what I can tell, the kid's mother died, the father disappeared, the uncle got custody. Kid's going in and out of psych wards. 13 years old, so why would I want to do that to somebody? You know, like, we all did fucked up shit as a kid. I just want him to have a trespass warning. He wanted to go through with a criminal trespass and bring the kid to court. I'm like, no, just a warning, whether verbal, written, whatever. And he's like, okay, well, I'm on my way to a call, I'll do it right after that. And I'm like, dude, it's like almost 9 o'clock at night, just, you know, you don't even have to talk to the kid, he's 13 years old, just talk to the uncle. But, yeah, still trying to save a little anonymity, yeah, whatever the word is. Unfortunately, all these cops already know my name. They know who I am. They're already calling me a First Amendment auditor, so that's what it's going to be. Like I said, if you go to South Florida Accountability on YouTube groups, I just created it. I'm already having issues with that. Trying to load a cover photo or a slideshow. It's telling me the pictures are too small. So I don't know how much of this works. I think I got to get my niece involved. She's pretty computer savvy. I used to be. I got caught hacking when I was younger and got banned from computers until I could afford my own, pretty much. Otherwise, I probably would have been a computer programmer at this point. But what are you gonna do? You know. Look like the fucking Grinch right now. Yeah, so I don't know how often I'll be able to post videos. I work 6 days a week. I am gonna do my First Amendment audit. I'm gonna go get the public records request on this police report. He said it'll be filed probably by Monday would be a good time to go try to make the records request for it. And I'll also be getting the one from 2 years ago. Get the names and badge numbers of those officers, file a complaint on all three. Supposedly there were 4. Never saw a 4th officer. I haven't really talked about the whole story, but they basically went and banged on my mother's apartment door, and I was out in the garage. She told them he's probably out in the garage. They claim that she said he's probably by the garage. They claim there was 4 officers. She only saw 3. I only saw 3. I was told that they weren't even going to respond. This was when I was just learning about the First Amendment, you know, taking pictures and stuff. But basically, somebody had taken a couple of pictures from their apartment into my garage. So from private property to private property, I didn't know quite how that worked. I tried to call and ask. They refused service. So I gave up, and then they sent people out. So I'm in the garage, hanging out, working on something. I open the garage door, there's 3 cops standing there. So I pulled out my phone, I started recording. That's one of the first videos you'll see on this account. I was drunk, obviously, as you guys have said in the video. So if you want to try to, you know, shit on me for that, oh well, I was drinking. I I had already had 3 people pretty much go into my garage and get chased out by neighbors. The neighbors had to close the garage door for me, took it off the track because it was opened. So they broke into the garage, 3 kids, whole bunch of power tools, all that stuff. So now I'm in the garage working. I got people taking pictures. I got people reporting me to the apartment complex that I'm living in the garage, even though I'm on a lease. And I'm paying for 2 garages. But I'm living in the garage. So I was drinking. I called the cops. I was like, listen, I'm just learning about this First Amendment stuff, and I want to know if they have the right to be doing that, because I've already had people scoping out my stuff. So they send out the cops. The cops start asking me questions about ID and this and that, instead of asking what was already happening. Trying to pretend like they didn't know why they were there, so they were dispatched without knowing anything, but they found my garage. It was completely weird to me, and I was drunk, and I was just pretty much saying, well, did I commit a crime? And they said no, and they started walking away, and then the officer to the right decided he was just going to punch me in the face and say, well, I thought your cigarette was going to burn me. Oh, okay. And then they charged me with drunk and disorderly in public on private property in my private garage. Then they brought me to the emergency room, and they tried to lie to the nurses there and say that I denied service from the jail doctors, which I hadn't been to yet. And I advised the nurse not to listen to them, or she would be added to a lawsuit. I am denying service at this point. I am denying any medical service. They still sent me over $1,000 bill for taking my temperature with a laser gun. I mean, come on. So I got that report. That took me 3 months to get the hospital to release my medical records to me. And it straight up said in the medical report, refused service multiple times. Yet I'm still getting a bill. So I told them, you want your money? Contact Martin County Sheriff. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's not my problem. I refuse service. It even says so in the medical record. You can't bill me if I refuse service. So that was that whole situation. Then the prosecutor tried to say if I kept saying not guilty, he was going to tack on 5 more charges. Finally, my public defender, which I apparently had to coach through the law, I had to explain to him every single aspect of the case for him to bring up in court. 7 months in a row, I would show up to trial for less than 5 minutes and leave. I didn't know what was going on. They were all talking in back rooms. That's all that was happening. Trying to get me to plead no contest and take like a year probation over drinking in public on private property. Go fuck yourself. So finally I said, if he's not going to watch the damn video, it's only 2.5 minutes long. If he's not going to watch it, we'll bring it to trial. I said the next time he tries to postpone this, tell him I'm done. I'm not showing up to court until it goes on trial. First of the next month, I get a phone call. All charges dropped. Simple as that. Now I've been spending 2 years trying to get a public record and the police report from that night. When I tried to get the video footage from the jail, I was told by Florida law, they are allowed to delete that footage within 30 days. They purposely tried to tell me I had to come in person to get it, tried to tell me I had to do this, do that, go to the court, do this. By the time it got to it, it had been 30 days. So the corruption in Martin County is ridiculous. I'm hoping to find more officers like Officer Hart. That's the one I'm dealing with on the vandalism charge. I mean, what are we supposed to do in these situations? Should I spend $250 an hour to hire a lawyer? Or do I have to hire a private investigator or what? I can't afford that. And they know that. So they will try to get you to plead no contest and take, community service or whatever it is. No, I'm done with it. So now I'm recording them every freaking time I see them. And a lot of you hadn't seen that last video. It looks like only about 40 people looked at it. Where the cop pulled somebody over next to my house, shined a flashlight in my eye when I hadn't said a word to him yet. So I stepped out in the road and he tried to threaten to arrest me. I started telling him, go fuck yourself. Take the fucking light out of my eye. You're violating the Bain Act. And he kept going. And then Officer Hart walked up. And you saw my attitude completely change. We had a casual conversation about it. Consensual conversation. He basically told all the other officers, shut the hell up and go away. Let me talk to him. I didn't even know it was him when he was walking up. I was still pissed. I was still screaming. The second I heard his voice and the questions he was asking me, I dropped the attitude. It was all about the fact that all I was doing was standing there, and they decided to turn their spotlight right into my camera. For what? I could barely see anyway. If you look at the footage, I could barely see anyway with the flashing lights. I got a cheap Android. I don't have any filters, anything like that. I don't know exactly how those guys do it. I don't have night vision. Maybe these two cameras I got will do something better, but right now I don't even have internet access, so I'm going to have to, like, go somewhere else to upload them. I'm going to have to buy a laptop and catch Wi-Fi or something, you know. Right now my camera on the phone is the only way to do it, and then I have got to immediately delete everything off the phone, or it gets so clogged up it doesn't even work, so... like I said, hopefully Monday the police report will be finalized. I'm gonna have to take a day off of work, and that sucks because, I mean, that's $160 for me. And then I gotta pay 30 cents for a public record on a police report. So, might be a half day, might not, depends on what happens. Right now I'm stuck with a company van, so I don't want to drive the company van onto the police property, do all this videoing, and then have them follow around my company van, even though they already know it, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to have to contact my boss and tell him, hey, I got to go get a police report, I need to use the van. He's already calling me, he's like, hey, oh, it's my YouTube star. He was pissed off at first from the first video from Lackluster, where the cop pulled me over for 2 miles under the speed limit. He said, hey, I got cops in my family, you need to respect the police, and why are you videotaping them, and da-da-da-da-da. I said, first off, every time I talk to the police, I videotape them. You never know what's going to happen. It's gotten charges dropped for me over and over again. Second off, I didn't do anything wrong. He was tailgating me. I pulled over and put my arm out the window to let him pass, and he decided to put his lights on off duty and come scream at me and tell me it was illegal to go 2 miles under the speed limit. Then he retaliated against me for saying I was going to file a complaint by calling my job to try to get me fired. So, I'm still weirded out by this whole facial thing. You can pretty much see my face through it, but whatever. So anyway, I'm still waiting on the paperwork from that to come in the mail on what happened through IA. Once I get the paperwork from 2 years ago, I'm going to file a complaint on all three of them for conspiring and falsifying police reports, forcing medical treatment, assault, and the female officer just being a psychopath saying stop resisting while the camera didn't move at all, even though it's still in my hands. So, 2 out of 3 officers, completely horrible people. Third officer, still a bad cop for not stopping it. And then conspiring with them on a police report to claim all the shit they claim. So I'm going to see what it actually says in the police report, because I was released from jail the next day with no police report. So I didn't even have a reason to know why I was arrested. And then I end up in court, drunk and disorderly in public and resisting without violence. And it's like, well, so what's resisting without violence? Getting my face smashed into the ground? having 3 people jump on my back, punching me in the face. That's me resisting without violence. And I can't find a contingency basis lawyer to take it. The only guy that was willing to even look at it wanted $250 for a 1-hour consultation, $250 an hour after that. What are we supposed to do as citizens when our police are attacking us and they have qualified immunity paid from our tax dollars, yet our tax dollars don't pay for our representation? I don't get it. Why doesn't our tax dollars pay for our representation? Why are we paying for them to go out and beat the crap out of us? That's what made me decide to start looking into these laws, learning this stuff, watching First Amendment auditors, taking back the power for the people. That's what it's all about, and it's plain and simple. And they think we're the enemy. We're not the enemy. We just don't want to be violated anymore. So, to have people go out there and do this stuff and put them in their place, let them know you're not going to get away with it this time. I think that's the big thing about First Amendment auditing that is like the most respected part. Whether they're disrespectful to the police or not, I understand there's some people out there, they just cuss at them, they bait them, you know, just like they bait us, you know, bait cars, bait bikes, hiding in a bush to catch you going 5 miles over the speed limit. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I'm going on a rant here, but the whole point is, I personally think, with all the First Amendment audits going on across the country right now, and in Europe, and in Canada, and in Australia, this is a movement. And what it's going to do is, when you get pulled over, when you talk to a police officer, you do not have to be a First Amendment auditor. You can simply pull out your phone, record, and remain silent. And they have to question whether or not you know the law. They have to question whether or not you have a good attorney. And do they want to fuck up today? So as simple as it is, pull out a camera, record them. It automatically makes them nervous. And they're going to do one of two things. They're going to calm their ass down, or they're going to freak the fuck out. And if they freak the fuck out, they're going to violate your rights even more, and then you will have a civil suit. Or you will have a defense to get off of whatever bullshit charge they trump up. So it's as simple as that. Pull out your camera, shut the fuck up. Or learn your laws and do what the auditors do, and try to talk them out of violating your rights. And for them to say you're baiting them into a lawsuit while you're trying to tell them you're fucking up, don't do it, is ridiculous. If you are giving them every opportunity to stop the bullshit, call a supervisor, listen to what I'm saying, I know the law, and you clearly don't, and then they still want to scream at you and hit you and lock you up, and then 3 hours later you're released with no bond and the charges were never filed, then their captain's yelling at him. He's probably going to sue us. So it is going to turn shit around. Just doing any of that will turn shit around. I appreciate you guys. These videos are hopefully just going to get better and better. Like, share, subscribe. Do what you can do. Pull out a phone if the cops show up, man. It's as simple as that. It scares the hell out of them. Other than that, I'm in construction. I go work on these guys' houses all the time. They're completely respectful when I'm fixing their house. But when I'm on the road, I'm just an average Joe target for a piracy. So, road pirates, you know? So, alright. Have a good night, guys. This is all for tonight. It's already almost 9 o'clock. I'm going to throw some food in the oven, take off, go to bed, wake up, work again. Same thing I do every night. Alright. Have a good night, guys.